Let's start with the new polling that shows the Democratic Party has reached an all-time low in popularity. The latest NBC News national poll finds that a majority of registered voters, 55%, have a negative view of the party, while 27%, just over a quarter of registered voters, have a positive view of the party. That's the party's lowest rating in NBC News polling dating back to 1990. Meanwhile, though, a new CNN SSRS poll finds the Democratic Party's favorability rating at just 29%, a record low going back to 1992, and a drop of 20 points since January of 2021. What's more, just 63% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents have a favorable view of their own party, down 9 points from January and 18 points from the start of the Biden administration. The Republican Party's favorability rating stands at 36%. Okay, want to break this all down. There's some numbers also on Trump's first, what are we in, 7 weeks now? Who's counting? It's moving quickly. But Chris Matthews, what do you make of these numbers for the Democrats?
Well, you could have seen them the night that Trump addressed the Congress. And you watched the Democratic Party. They seemed like they weren't there. They were sort of vacant. They weren't saying anything with their manner. They never questioned the facts. They let the president lie about Social Security and say that we're giving benefits to people who are 160 years old or to their grandchildren. We allowed Elon Musk to go on television and tell everybody that we're using Social Security as a lure to bring people into the country illegally, that we're giving them benefits, which we're not. We're giving them to illegal people in the country who came in illegally. We give it to them, lie after lie after lie, and said nothing. I'll tell you, James Carville, who said the Democrats should stay silent, may be partially right, but where he's wrong is you have to have a fact checker. There needs to be a war room. Remember in 1992? Yeah. Remember how Bill Clinton won that election because he had a war room. He and George Stephanopoulos were down there in Little Rock, and they were checking every fact, and nobody checks the facts anymore. And the lies are getting through to the American people.
They are. You can, I mean, I sitting at a baseball game, I could hear them. Oh, those people who were fired, you know, they're actually sitting pretty, being given great packages. Those Doge cuts are the best thing that ever happened to them. Things like that they read somewhere.
Yeah. They did research.
Right. Their research on the Epic Times or whatever it is. So, and that too is also, there's a political, I'm going to say acumen, maybe even genius to some of these moves that may be against a judge's ruling, may be anti-democratic in many ways, may be flouting due process, like these deportations that we're looking into right now that happened overnight, Ezra. At the same time, they have a tinge of what Americans respond to politically. Gang members. Well, of course, we're getting rid of gang members, but they don't go beyond the surface. And a lot of that has to do with, A, disinformation, and also an overabundance, if I can use the title of your book, of information coming at them. They seem almost tuned out.
Yeah, Steve Bannon says that the strategy is to flood the zone. And the Trump administration has flooded the zone. They flooded their own zone, too. They don't have some storehouse of attention and capability. The rest of us don't. They don't know what they're doing. They're breaking things. They don't know what they're breaking. All those poll numbers are horrible for the Democratic Party.
Horrible.
And I agree with them because I'm not exactly sure who would say they have a favorable impression of Democrats right now. But Trump has gone negative faster than any president in history except for Trump. It took Joe Biden 221 days to see his favorability numbers go negative. It took Trump about a month. So I don't think this is working for them either. The question is, can Democrats create any kind of opposition or alternative that matters? That's one, but that's really going to matter when you get near to an election. And in the meantime, the thing that Democrats want from their party is some way of making it stop. They don't want a message. They don't even just want a fact check. Though I agree with Chris, it would be good if facts were more relevant right now. What they want is for Democrats to make it stop. And that's where the anger of the shutdown comes in. Yeah. That was the one piece of leverage Democrats had. Should they have shut down? Actually, I think that's actually a pretty hard question. But the reason there was such fury among the base is Democrats have no way to get themselves in front of this. They had one way to do something that would have changed politics, at least for now. And they decided not to do it. And the base thinks, OK, then what are you for?
Right. That's fine, except what would have happened. I think it's a really, really healthy debate. I'm not sure where I stand on it. I think I stand with Chuck Schumer on this.
I think it's very hard to say who a shutdown was actually leveraged for.
Yeah. I also agree on the fact checker, Chris Matthews. I'm going to get to Trump's numbers in just a moment, but there really should be. I mean, there's a lot of possum that should be played. This is theirs. Okay, this is theirs. And as we get to the midterms, take a look at what Trump owns here, not to get muddled in with it. But at the same time, I do think there should be a war room, a central command, and a person, a voice, a figure who can call out the disinformation and perhaps the laws that are being flouted at the same time. Who is that person?
That's the question.
Well,
because it's not going to be founded from the legislative, the branch of the Senate or the House of Representatives. They're not fixed to pick an outside spokesman. Schumer's not an outside spokesman. Hakeem Jeffries turns out not to be an outside spokesman. So somebody has to come up. Chris Murphy's tried to do it, but he doesn't have the stature or the authority to do it. He's just another senator.
Buttigieg? He's got the skills.
Maybe, but he's running for president. He is running for president.
Oh, but that may be.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fact. I don't know why they haven't put together a group and said, you guys, you people, speak for the party. Get out there and do that. I mean, I agree with you on Schumer. The Schumer question is a small part of this.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you talk to people on the very progressive side of the Senate, they'll tell you it's a close call.
It's a close call.
And by the way, if we're sitting here 2 months after the government shut down and it's all being blamed on Democrats, the numbers will even be lower than we just saw.
That's why I agree. There should be an exciting a construct in which they push back on facts. On facts. Just stick to the facts. I don't want to hear your feelings, especially from far left-wing Democrats. I don't want to hear laughing or, derisive laughter. I don't want to hear anything except the facts and where the Republican
You were
Party...
so right about that.
I don't want to hear your feelings.
Derisive laughter, the way you use laughter to insinuate an attack.
No.
And you don't even laugh. People both sides do this.
Yes.
They laugh in a kind of a humiliating way about their opponents instead of, you watch Gutfeld at night. All it is making fun of Democrats.
Yeah, if you're triggered, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear the facts. I want to hear where our democracy is slowly being broken down, how and why. I want to hear it from Democrats. I want to hear it from a very inspiring figure who can stand up for democracy and put all the garbage, all the bickering, all the name-calling, all the emotion aside and stand up just for the country.
That's us, not them. I mean, just to be... nobody cares what the Democrats say right now because the Democrats have no power. If anybody's going to be bringing the facts and have any credibility to do it, what little credibility we have left, it's us in the media. It's us in civil society. The idea that before a primary, there is some Democrat who is going to rise up and save us, some Buttigieg, Westmore, Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer. It won't happen. A lot of them are putting out the kind of content we're talking about here. You can watch Cory Booker's Instagram. You can go to Chris Murphy. You can go to Brian Schatz. But what they don't have is attention because they don't have leverage. It's the media in this period, which is cowed in a bunch of ways. And Jeff Bezos is ripping up his own op-ed page and firing people left and right and driving people out left and right. But if there's going to be any mediating set of figures here, I don't think it's going to come from an opposition party that has lost credibility and that has not yet had time to build it up and renew its leadership and build credibility for that leadership. It's going to come from the press. It's going to come from civil society. The collapse of virtually every significant civil society figure, all these rich billionaires and tech CEOs and influencers who have bent the knee, this is where the problem is. You need truth mediated by all sets of society. I just don't buy that there's any person in the Democratic Party who we are going to listen to enough right now that they could play this role we're asking of them.
Interesting.